Hello, this is Vincent Burnett of Pixelite Studios. In this video I want to explore procedural content generation. Modern video games often present players with massive virtual worlds. These massive worlds require massive amounts of digital content. Uh, One way to produce these worlds is to hire a group of digital artists to produce all that digital content. This unfortunately takes a long time and a lot of resources, but it does provide direct control over the entire world to game designers and game developers. Another approach is to use procedural content generation. Procedural content generation uses algorithms to generate the content of that virtual world. Now it does it very quick and with not a whole lot of resources. So to allow the production of larger virtual worlds. The problem is that the content produced isn't always what the designer wants, okay? And he doesn't have a whole lot of control. I mean, he has limited control over the content. So, often games, have points of interest that require direct manual control over those areas of interest, such as villages and quest centers and stuff. But around these points of interest are large amounts of regions of that virtual world that could be produced through procedural methods. So wouldn't it be great to have would it be great to be able to produce content procedurally and have some control over it while also being able to edit that content? This would allow most of the world to be generated procedurally, whereas it would also allow with some control, and also allow developers the ability to have completely control wherever they want it, if they need it. Okay, I'm going to explore a procedural terrain and foliage generation system that will hopefully satisfy all those constraints. The first system I'm going to discuss is just a basic procedural terrain surfacing system. And this system it's pretty simple. It just takes the height and uses that to color the terrain. Now the geometry here has been produced procedurally by multifractals algorithm, okay? Let's look at the pixel shader. How am I determining the color and stuff from that? Well, this is a very basic shader. Whoops. This is a very basic shader. It's a node network. This will generate the pixel shader, this node network. Okay, and what I do is I take this text coordinate 0 is basically the world position, and I'm taking the y component, which is the elevation. I'm scaling it, and I'm shoving it into this gradient node. The gradient node takes that scaled elevation, and it goes from 0, it will output a green color. So it takes in a float and outputs a color, and a 0 will produce, a low elevation produces green, and it goes through brown and orange, and it goes up to white at high elevations. Okay? And it also takes a normal map. And the normal map is the same everywhere, so it doesn't vary at all. So this isn't a very realistic terrain system, although it doesn't look that bad, but it doesn't give the detail of a real world and that the human eye really desires and requires to be believed. Okay, so that's all for this basic procedural terrain surfacing system. Now I want to go on and discuss some other methods. Thank you.